What's going on, guys? Today we're gonna go through the process of creating a make.com account. Everything from verifying it in your email address, setting up, logging in with Google or a password, and then going through the dashboard, the platform, and building out the first automation. So in that first automation, we'll go through linking up integrations, getting an API key from a different platform and linking it in. And by the end of it, you should be set up to have a really good understanding, at least, of how to integrate modules that you're trying to use. And you'll have your make.com account set up and should be ready to go. So yeah, let's get into it. So first thing you want to do is go on to make.com, and we're just going to click the get started button at the top right. So you could use a Google account. I'm going to walk it through with just filling out the email and all this stuff. Okay, so then we're just going to hop over to our email and wait for that to come through. Let's see if it just lets us go. There we go. Okay. So when you're first coming in, you can pick what your goals are, what you are. Let's just say we're a freelancer. We want to use it for social media, and I have no experience. And whatever you want. Cool. Okay, so here we are at the homepage. So the first thing you want to do is come down to the scenario tab, click create scenario, and here we are. So let's go name this one up here. So just call this make 101. Okay, so before we start building this out, we want to set up a couple other things. So first thing we'll do is we'll go over to a Google Sheet. So I already have this built out. If you build it out in the same Google account you're using for Make, that will be a lot easier. I mean, not a lot easier, but it will help when integrating. So what we're going to do with this automation is we're essentially just going to take a list of keywords, and then we are going to output the keyword, a blog post titled based around the keyword, and then an Instagram caption based around the keyword as well. So like I said, this could be a part of an automation. I wouldn't call it a complete automation. If you need these things and you just need the copy for them, then this would work for you, or you can adjust it to have it do different things. But primarily it's kind of to walk through the build out of the automation and the integration of the other platforms. So yeah, just come into Google Sheet, create a new template, and then we'll have two sheets. So we'll have the keywords, and then we'll call it the processed keywords. And you just put these three columns in here. So we have that set up. And then we're going to come back into Make, click on this. These are all the apps you can integrate. The one we're going to be using is Google Sheets. So we're going to come into there, and we want to search a row. So here's where you'll be connecting. And this is going to be like the first type of connection, which is going to be with a login or a Google account. So we'll call this Make 101 connection. And you can call this your name, your business, whatever you'd like to call it, it's connection. And then we'll just sign it with Google. Okay. So then if you have multiple connections up here, you would have multiple options, and you just select the one you want to be using. And if you want to add any more, you can just click this to add. All right. So we'll select from my drive, just so it's easier to pick out which one we're going to be using. And then whatever you name that sheet over here in Google, you're just going to find that here. So that will be Make 101 is the one we're targeting. And for this one, we want to do the first sheet, which is the keywords sheet. Yes, it contains headers. Okay, that's all good. And so with this, we're not sorting for any type of like conditional. so we don't necessarily need that right now. What we're just going to be doing is grabbing them from top to bottom. And after they get processed through ChatGPT and put into the new sheet, they'll be erased from the last one. So we'll do these in descending order. And let's run this right now. Oh, one more thing. Let's see if it gives us the option. So this is a limit of how many it's going to give us back. I'm going to do one for now because when I'm testing, I like to just run one at a time, even if I'm be running multiple. And for this, we can have it run, no limit, because whatever's in there needs to be processed anyways. But for the sake of this, we'll keep it to one. So we'll save that. We'll come over and just save this automation. So then you hover over this module and you right click it. And we're going to click run this module only. Okay. And so now we can see we got one bundle, which is basically one result. So when you see the input and output, this is what went in. This is what we got on the other side of this. The input is essentially the information that we put in, that we just typed in or we linked to. The output is going to be what it gave us back. So I like to do this too and just kind of verify that it's giving me what I expected. So the first expected result would be polarized performance shades. Okay. Yep. And that's what we're getting. Row 2. The rest of the stuff, we're probably going to use this later for deleting that row, but everything else is good. That's what we need to see. And so if you do want to just double check this, we can come increase this, let's say to 3, save it again, run the module, and now so you can just make sure it's actually going down the line. So we got these 3. Come over here, check that against ours. Good, everything's the same. Okay, so that's the first one, and that's the first integration connection using a Google account. So now we're going to click that little dot, and we're going to add another module. So for this one, we're going to add OpenAI, and create completion is the module we're going to be using. So at this point, you don't have an OpenAI account. That's what we're going to assume. So I'm going to walk you through setting that up and linking up the API. So just come into Google and search OpenAI API. Okay, so then we'll click on this, and here we are. Sign up or log in if you already have an account, but we're going to go through this as if you don't. We'll do the same thing, and we'll continue with Google. Okay. Let's see. Make 101. Not technical. Okay. Then we create our organization. I'll invite my team later. So we'll just call it, for this, my make 101 key. And we'll just call this make 101 as well. So then we'll generate an API key, and then there it is. So all you need to do here is copy. And now that's copied, we can go back to make.com. And then here we're going to create our connection. So we can just leave it as that. We have the API key copied. So then you will just paste it. And then for the organization ID, okay, so from the dashboard, you're going to come over to this little cog, click on that, and then that's going to have your organization ID right here. So we're just going to copy that. hop back over to make, paste it right there. Save it. No. Up to this point, you guys have learned how to integrate a module with a sign-in or a Google sign-in. And then now you just learned how to do one with an API key. So these will cover about 95% of your use cases as far as what the integrations will require to integrate them into make.com. So come into here, we're going to create a chat completion. So we'll select the method. We'll see the newest one, ChatGPT, or create a completion, GPT in O1. The model, these do a lot of different things, but just for sake of this demonstration, we'll just go, let's say, for Omni. And some of them will have different purposes that gets a little deeper than what you really need to get into here. Okay, so we set up this, we chose a model. Good. We're good there. So now there's two things you need to do in here. So we're going to come in and click the add message button, and we're going to go to role, and we're going to click developer and system. So basically we're going to instruct this module and tell them kind of like who they are and what they're used for. So essentially think of it as if like you have an employee, you have a person show up to your work and you're saying like, all right, you're the social media manager, you create content for our social media, and you create all the copy for our posts. So we're going to tell them that, and then we're going to create a user message. And the user message is essentially, we told them what their job is. Now the user message is, hey, I need a post for Instagram that is a carousel post about dog leashes, whatever it is. So up here, we're telling them what they do and who they are. Down here, we're kind of telling them now what we need from them specifically. I got these up already. Prompt engineering is kind of a new term, but essentially coming up with prompts that do what you want it to do. It gives you the output that you're looking for. So there is a bit of a science to it. There's a little trial and error. We won't get into that in this video, but I'll have these in the description as well, so you can feel free to use these exact ones or tweak them as you need. But basically what we're going to say is, when we're instructing it what it is and what it's going to do, we're going to say, you're a social media manager for a sunglass company. Your role is to generate optimized content based on provided keywords to improve the brand's online visibility. You will receive a keyword and must output a compelling blog post title that incorporates the keyword naturally and is engaging for readers, a concise, engaging Instagram caption that includes the keyword in a natural way and encourages engagement, a set of relative hashtags that enhance discoverability while aligning with the brand's niche. And then down here we say, ensure the blog post title is clear, intriguing, and SEO friendly. The Instagram caption has a conversational, brand-aligned tone and includes a call to action when relevant. Hashtags are a mix of high traffic and niche specific tags related to sunglasses, fashion, and lifestyle. Okay, so we just told it what it is. It's pretty specific, but it's not specific on the exact keyword or what we want them to exactly generate. And that's comes into play down here in the user prompt. So the user prompt, we have generate a blog post title and Instagram caption based on the following keyword. And so here is where we're going to do something called mapping. So if you've seen this thing open the whole time, this is how we map. So when you're not typing in directly into these boxes, you're going to map into here. And there's a ton on here because there's a ton of empty cells in that sheet. But essentially, we're just going to click on that. And what that's going to do is it's going to pull the keyword that we have in that list in this top position. And as I said before, once it gets processed, this row will get deleted. And so the new one will continually be in that top position. So it's going to be generating based off that keyword, going through all that. Great. So one last thing, scroll down here. We'll go to show advanced settings, and in response format, we're going to change this to a JSON object. And then where it says parse JSON response, we're going to say yes. JSON is essentially a data structure. And for what we just did with the mapping, this will make it a lot easier to map into modules that we use later on in the automation. So if you read this, you just got to make sure that you instruct the model to produce JSON via the system or user message. Those are those two messages that we just filled out. If not, it's not going to do it how it's supposed to. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up to this system prompt, and then under here, we're just going to say output in a JSON object following the above 3 bullets. Okay, and so we'll see how that goes. That should give us the blog post title, the caption, and then the hashtags in 3 different selectable components like this for mapping. Okay, so now we're going to save, and let's change this back to 1, and we'll save this, and then we can click run once, and we can see what it outputs if anything's broken, and go from there. All right. Okay, so this is your input. This stuff we don't really need to see right now. This is what we're looking for, this output bundle. And these are what your results will look like. So it looks like it added it. Let's see. Oh no, so it did separate it. Okay. It's not exactly how it like. So this is an array, so these are all separate. I would like it just to be a block of text. So we'll go back and instruct it to change that. So this is that JSON structure, JSON. This is basically how it would look. Okay. So yeah, it's all going through how we would hope it would be. So one thing we're going to change in here. Above 3 bullets, make the hashtags a text block, a single text block. Okay, save. Let's run it one more time. And yep, so that's what we want to see. Cool. All right, so now keyword came in, got processed. Now we're going to add another module, and we're just going to add another Google Sheet module. And then from here, we're going to click add a row. So we'll search by path, and the spreadsheet we want to go to is Make 101 or whatever you named it over on Google Sheets. The sheet we're going to use for this one is the processed keywords sheet. Okay. So these three are the ones we're going to be targeting. So you click in here, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull the keyword that's being processed. So if you see how that first module is kind of coming in and out like that when I hover over this, whenever you're hovering over, it will show you which module you're kind of looking in. And I know this stuff looks pretty overwhelming, but just think of it like this. Right now, there's these two modules. So we're going to open the Google Sheet. These are all irrelevant. They're just empty rows and boxes. So we're going to click that one. Then the blog post title is going to be in the ChatGPT, and it has the same name. So blog post title, Instagram caption, and then we can just add the hashtags in there, or if we want to create another block separately for those, we can do that. So that's created here. It's saved to Drive. Let's just make sure. Auto saves on here. Okay, so then what we'll do here though, just to make sure this updates, come and click these three dots up here, and then just click refresh form. And so now we have that updated in there. And then we'll just click on this, map in those hashtags, save that. All right, and then the last step is going to be deleting this initial row right here once it gets processed. So we'll go into Make. We're going to add one more Google Sheet module, and we're going to find the delete row. Okay, so for this one, we're deleting a row from the Make 101 spreadsheet, from the keyword sheet, which is that initial one. And the row number, you just scroll down to here and you will click on row number, and that's it. Save the scenario. Okay, so this should be done. And what we're going to do is take the keyword, process it, put it in the new sheet, delete the old row. So what you're going to see happen, this will get deleted. These will all get populated with that data that we just processed through the OpenAI module. So let's run it and see if we run into any snags. Okay, so let's check over here. Cool, everything went in where it was supposed to. They're not wrapping, so that's why it's kind of going into the other ones, but the performance, or the polarized performance shades, is gone. So everything worked how it was supposed to. So now what I'm going to do is kind of show what this could look like when it's processing multiples. So we're going to just delete that row, come through, and then here we can, I'll just set it to 5 so there's some left in the keyword bank, so you can see them go away. So this should populate 5, so we should get down to the 6th position, and then the top 5 of these will go away. So we're saved, we'll run that. And so if you watch, this is going through multiple times. Oh, okay. So the error we just got was third-party API limit likely exceeded. So when you are in Open API or OpenAI's API, you do have to fund this account. So it's really cheap when you're buying credits and adding. So right now I have 0 credits. Let's see what the usage was. It doesn't show anything because I haven't bought anything. I think when you're first starting, it'll give you some free credits. But if you put $5 in here and you're running an automation that's processing stuff 2 or 3 times during the automation, and you're running that twice a week, this would still probably last you for months. So it's really cheap. All you'd have to do is come in here and add your payment. I'm not going to do that for this account, but we got through a little bit. But we got through a good part of what we were trying to get through. So, but this is good. I got a chance to talk about that, and also shows you what it would look like if there was an error. So if there is an error, you'll see that, and I'll show you if it's running automatically how to find those errors too. Okay, so those top keywords got deleted, and then these 3, because it made it to the 3 report got cut off, got put in here. And I think it didn't output this one. So this new instruction is going to give us the JSON object to where we can map it. It's going to show the blog post, Instagram, with those sub key value pairs. So then what we need to do is come over here. If you ever see a block like this, that means there's nothing that it's mapping to anymore. So it either got deleted or it's not in use anymore. And that happened because we just changed those. So same thing will come through here. And just to show you guys, we're gonna open this one under results. Open that. Blog posts, title. Okay, under Instagram, caption, hashtags, save. Okay, so saved that, saved this, and let's see if it gives us any more juice. All right, it's going through. It might stop again like it did before because of the API limit. There we go. So I guess with this one, it's only letting us run 3 consecutively or in that time period, but it's still going. So we have 2 left, and for some reason, okay, so we are going to run this, and it's probably going to get through 2 or 3 of them. It looks like it got through 3. Okay. So you see how that updated, and then there we go. We have all 3 coming through. And now with that change to actually instructing the OpenAI module what we want the output to look like exactly, we don't have to worry about it ever changing. So what happened with that was that module, when it output it called it blog post title one time, and the next time it called it blog title. And so if there's any variation in the names when you're mapping it, it won't work. Like we saw in there where it kind of just highlighted it and showed that it wasn't working. And yeah, this is just stopping because of we aren't using a paid account right now. But yeah, so that's how you would set up an automation like this. And what you could do, for example, with triggering this or starting it, this is on a schedule right now. You could set it to every day, a specified date, a regular interval. So let's set it to days of the week, and we'll just say every Thursday at 12:11 we'll run this, and we'll activate it. And now we are active, and now you can just let this run, and every Thursday it's going to run this automation and transfer those keywords. And just real quick to go through what this would look like. This is when you come into your scenarios on this tab. You'd open it up, and then here's where you could kind of like troubleshoot if there was errors or things that happened. It'll tell you if there's any incomplete executions, and the history here is going to have where you can kind of troubleshoot if an automation broke or stopped working when it was running automatically. So if we see an error, what we can do is click on details, and then this will give us all the information about it. So it'll tell us the duration, how many operations it went through, and it will kind of go through how each one played out, and then it will show you when it broke. So it failed with error, and this is the one we kept getting, the third-party API limit likely exceeded. And so if you see something in here as the automation's running, you get an error, and it will send it to like your email, and so you can check on that. But if you get an error and you come in and you troubleshoot it, this is where you're going to do that. And that's getting a little deeper. You can add error handlers. You can add conditionals based off of certain inputs, outputs, etc. But just for this is setting up a fairly simple automation in make.com, going through the integrations. So all of these other apps that you could want to integrate, they're all going to be a very similar setup to these two that we integrated in here. So a lot of people get really, I think, intimidated by API keys and setting all that up. But like I said before, it's literally just you get the key from the platform you're going to use, put it in Make, and then get it started, and that's it. So hopefully this helped you guys out. Hopefully, if you followed along, you now have a make.com account, you have a couple connections and integrations, and yeah, you can just go from here and wherever your imagination takes you, create something cool. So if you guys have any questions or you have any comments, or if there's any automations you are interested in seeing built out, comment down below, and I'll definitely get to that and try to get those build outs for you guys. So, all right, guys, good luck.